So now that we've talked about why you can create and sustain the kind of conditions in which a good life is possible, and why you should want to do that, let's talk about what you need to know in order to be able to begin uh, creating and protecting the kind of conditions in which it's possible to experience a good life, the kind of conditions in which it's possible to get your human needs met, right? So the first thing you need to know is that, uh, like Aristotle also said 2,000 years ago, human beings are social creatures. And as social creatures, we gather together in social groups, right? And this creates, the concept of social environments. Instead of looking at your living room as being made up of couches and a TV maybe, and a lamp, and a cat sitting there, looking at itself or something, or people eating and drinking, snacks during the Super Bowl, you're going to be focusing on the kind of social experiences that people are having together, the kind of psychosocial experiences. Psychosocial is a word that means it's part in your mind and part in your social relating with other people. So, for example, if you act friendly with someone, they're going to probably act friendly with you, and you're going to experience a communion. If you've ever gone to church as a kid, and after church they had like coffee and donuts, everybody hangs out and talks. It's kind of fun. Maybe you get that at a Super Bowl party. I've mentioned that because it's recently was the Super Bowl here, and maybe it's a birthday party or something else. But the point is, you're in a social environment whenever you're with other people, right? And really even when you're by yourself, because you're still going to be acting in ways that are conducive to social behavior, the accepted social behavior in a given place. So some social environments include your home, your workplace, and your school, right, or your church, a public park, right, movie theater, pretty much everywhere. And there's two different kinds of social environments that I want you to begin to be aware of. Number one is a healthy social environment or a functional social environment. And the second is a unhealthy social environment or a dysfunctional social environment, right? So what I mean by functional and dysfunctional is that the social rules that govern, you know, expected or appropriate social behavior. In other words, how are you allowed to behave there? With it, what types of things will the group get upset with you for doing, right? In a healthy environment, healthy social place, the group will get upset with you when you engage in behavior that is going to have a negative or destructive impact on the people who are there, right? Especially in regards to having a negative impact on their human capacity to get their needs met. So if you do something that's unsafe during the Super Bowl party, people are likely to give you some dirty looks or say something to you. And if you were to ignore their, request, they might even kick you out of the party, right? Or they might disinvite you from coming back. So, in a healthy social environment, there are pro-social social norms. That means what I just said, that the rules that everyone is living by are going to be rules that have a positive or constructive impact on the human beings who live there. In other words, you're able to get your needs met in a healthy, appropriate manner, right? That's effective. And consequently, you experience the good life when you're there. You love to go over there and hang out because it's so fun and enjoyable, right? And then the other kind of environment is one, it's what I call oppressive, and the way it feels is it feels toxic. So um, it's governed by antisocial social norms. These are rules of social behavior, codes of conduct or rules governing social behavior that require people to do things that have a destructive impact on themselves and or on others in the environment. So, for example, if there's somebody in charge who's very abusive or abusive at all for any reason, uh, and other people are required to not address that problem, but instead to just suppress it and hide it, right? And not ever talk about it. Well, that's going to have a very destructive effect on people, right? We'll get into that later. But so there's two kinds of social environments. There's the oppressive kind, where people are not allowed to be themselves, where people are acting in ways that are not good for everybody, where just it's good for maybe one person in the moment, but it's bad for everyone else in the moment. And even down the road, it's going to be bad for that person too, once all those friends never come back to visit them again because they resent that guy for being a controlling jerk, right? So uh, then the other kind of environment is the empowerment climate. It's the fertile environment. It's the one in which human beings can grow and be well. They feel safe. There's a bunch of other needs that I'm going to get into, and I just wanted to get you acclimated to these, the difference between these two kinds of environments. We'll talk more in a minute.